Hi, I'm Tyson Franklin, and welcome to this special edition of the Podiatry Legends podcast. Throughout December, I'm doing something a little different. I'll be releasing a series of 4 solo episodes, one each week, designed to help you reset, refocus, and realign before we step into a brand new year. If you've ever felt tired, stuck, or a little bit off track in your business lately, this series is for you. My goal is to help you finish the year with more clarity and momentum and set the foundation for a more powerful and I think more energized 2026. Here's what I've got lined up over the next 4 weeks. The first episode, which is today's episode, is going to be titled Embracing the Plateau. What to do when growth stalls in your podiatry practice. We'll explore how to shift your mindset, navigate those flat periods in business without panicking and burning out, which is super important. More on that very soon. But the next episodes, or the next 3 episodes after that for December, the next one's going to be Reignite Your Why, rediscovering purpose in podiatry before the new year. And we'll be talking about reconnecting with what truly matters in your podiatry business. The third episode in this series for December is going to be titled Designing a Better Week, Small Changes That Make a Big Impact. I'll walk you through very simple but powerful changes that you can make with your weekly structure that will dramatically improve how you work and how you feel. And then the final solo episode of December is going to be titled Don't Just Set Goals, Solve Problems, a better way to plan for 2026. This will be a different approach to planning for the year ahead. Focusing less on lofty goals and more on identifying and solving what's really holding you back. Each episode will of course be a little bit shorter than when I have a guest on. Well, of course it will be. I haven't got somebody else talking. But they will be sharp and straight to the point and designed to get you thinking more deeply about how you want to work and live in 2026. And if anything I say in any of these episodes, if it sparks something in you, or you realize that, hey, maybe I might need a business coach heading into 2026, please reach out to me. Love to hear from you, and I'd love to help you wherever I can. And you may already be part of an existing coaching organization. You may be enjoying the group. You may even love the people within that group, but you feel you're missing that personalized touch. If that's the case, please reach out to me. That may be all you need just to take your business to the next level. Anyway, I'll leave that percolate in your subconscious. Let's get on to today's episode. Embracing the plateau, what to do when growth stalls in your podiatry practice. You may or may not believe this, but every podiatrist and every podiatry business owner will hit at some point in their journey a plateau. That frustrating flat period where growth stalls, everything seems to dip, and everything feels a little bit stagnant. You're not failing, but you're also not moving forward. It's like you're treading water. It's exhausting and sometimes very unrewarding. And I want to say this up front, plateaus are not the enemy. In fact, they can be one of the most valuable parts of your career and your business journey if you know how to approach them the right way. So what is a plateau? And why does it feel so demoralizing? A plateau is that point where your podiatry business basically stops growing, or at least it feels that way. Your revenue may have flattened, your new patient numbers may have stalled, your team's running well, but there's no momentum, or you're not feeling inspired the way that you used to when you first started the business. And this is where the real danger comes in. Not the lack of growth itself, but what you make it mean. You start wondering, have I peaked? Am I doing something wrong? Is this working anymore? Should I be doing something different? But here's the truth. Like I said before, plateaus are not failures. They're just part of every growth cycle. Think of it like hiking a mountain. Every trail will have its flat bits. It doesn't mean you're lost or the climb is actually stopped or it's over. It just means you're preparing for the next incline. In my podiatry business reboot workshops, I talked about this term called punctuated equilibrium. And these are specific moments in time where not a lot of growth is happening. It's basically that flat spot. But All it takes is a little inspiration to get out of it. It could be a podcast episode. It may be this episode. It may even be an event you attend. It could be one of my marketing workshops. It could be a reboot when they come up. You might go to the foot and ankle show. It might even be just brief periods of coaching. The truth is, it's never going to be just one thing. It's usually a combination of things that will get you out of it. Next, I want to talk about the mindset shift. Growth isn't always visible. This is super important. One of the biggest lessons I've learned, both personally and from mentoring other podiatrists, is that growth often happens beneath the surface. Sort of like bamboo. You can water it for months, see nothing. No change, doesn't seem to be growing. Then suddenly, boom, it shoots meters in the air. In your clinic, you might be laying the foundations for future growth. You might be stabilizing your systems or introducing new systems. You might be training staff to reduce reliance on you so they can be doing more things when you're not there. You might be building your brand reputation in the background. Now, this is the important part. None of that shows up in flashy monthly reports or in your numbers, but it's real growth. So the first mindset shift is this. Just because you can't see growth doesn't mean it isn't happening. It's right at this point in time, you need to have patience. You need to have a belief in the process. The growth is coming. It just lags behind the input. Next, I want to talk about it's important to use the plateau for a strategic reset. Instead of panicking or pushing harder during the plateau, use it as a chance to review, refine, and refocus. I used to do this in my own podiatry business, and I still do it today with my coaching business and also this podcast. Here's 3 things you can do. First one, review what's working and also review what's not working. Look at your numbers. What services are still growing quite well and which ones are flat and no longer being used? Check your patient retention in specific treatment areas. Does it need to be changed? Look at staff performance. Look at your current marketing and what is the return on your investment. You need to know this. Plateaus often highlight hidden inefficiencies. The second thing that you can do is declutter your business. Very important. Let go of what's no longer serving you. Have you got outdated promotions? They just don't work anymore. Do you have dead referral channels? Are there referrers that you're still trying to connect with, but they're gone? They're no longer servicing you in any way. Are there services that you offer that drain energy but don't deliver good returns? Sometimes growth stalls because there's just so much noise. We have so much going on around us, so many things that we're doing. You need to cut it back. I'm actually in a decluttering stage myself right at this point in time. I'm reviewing all my activities and I'm removing a lot of the noise. The third thing is reconnect with your purpose. Ask yourself, why did I start this practice? It's an important question because we can often lose sight of our initial goals, and before you know it, you are way off track. Are you still working with the patients you wanted to work with? Or did you start seeing other patients and you just sort of fell into a trap that all of a sudden you're doing the type of work you really didn't want to do or you don't enjoy? Is your business aligned with the life you want to live? Just think about that. Is your business aligned with the life you want to live, or are you living a life that you're not really enjoying? Plateaus are the perfect time to realign your practice with your original vision. And if you have not thought about that for a while, sit down and think about it. Why did you start the practice? What was it you wanted to achieve from it? And is that vision happening? If not, you need to make changes. Next thing I want to talk about is avoiding the dangerous urge to just blow it all up. When you hit a plateau, there's a temptation to just overhaul everything. You get impulsive and you think, everything needs to be changed. You look at new branding. You might be looking at new services. Think, do you need to add any more? You might be looking at new clinic software. You might be thinking about hiring or firing a team member. But radical changes from a place of frustration rarely works. It's actually one of the worst times to be making rash decisions in your business. Change is only powerful when it's intentional and not reactive. So if you're thinking of just tearing things down, before you do that, just stop and breathe. Instead of tearing it all down, make small, we call high impact changes. You might tweak your pricing. And if you're scared to change or tweak your prices, ask yourself why. I always say this, a lot of times people will say, oh, my patients won't pay X because, and then in brackets, just put a really weak excuse, because that's usually the truth. Next thing is improve your new patient experience. There could be something else that you could just adjust that may have a big impact. Run a short-term reactivation campaign. There are so many variations of reactivation campaigns that are at your fingertips you could do with your patients. You just need to implement them. The main point is keep the foundation, but just refresh the layers that build up, that make your business come together. So now let's talk about you for a second. Sometimes the business is steady, but you're mentally checked out. You've lost that sense of challenge. You're running on autopilot. Every day seems the same. And basically, you are bored. I've had a few coaching clients go through this. This is just as important to address as anything else. Here's how to reignite that spark. Attend a workshop or conference. Even just one session can sometimes just, spark a lot of ideas. If you've been considering a specific event, not mentioning the Podiatry Marketing Masterclass that's going to be in the UK, but it could be anything. Go to your work schedule now and just go and block it out that you're going to go to that event and go and book in. That might be all you need. Another idea is contact some of your business friends. They might be in or outside of podiatry and ask if they want to go away for a weekend and just do some business brainstorming. Mentoring a junior podiatrist is a great way to get yourself remotivated, because you'll see where they are now and you used to be there, and you know that you have so much experience that you can pass on to them. You might launch a side project. It could be a new service. You might write an ebook for your business. You might start a YouTube channel. Something you haven't done before, sometimes it can be frightening, but that might be exactly what you need just to sort of get yourself back in the game. Or, this is a simple thing, just go and take a break. Even 3 or 4 days away from your business can recharge your creativity. I'll look this way, you didn't come this far to just coast, but also you don't need to hustle harder to feel inspired again. It won't make you feel any better if you just keep pushing. So let's break this down to the 3 types of plateaus that I see most often in podiatry. The first one is the revenue plateau. And this is where you're earning consistently, but you can't seem to get it to that next level. It's flat. Look at your pricing. Are there any upsells that you can do? And look at your clinic efficiencies. Are you leaking money unnecessarily in certain areas? You might not need more patients. You might just need better systems. The second one is the motivational plateau. And that's where you're mentally flat or creatively stuck. Bring in variety. I've been doing a few on-site team training creativity days for this exact reason. When you do that, it just gets the motivation going, and it actually stops that motivation plateau. Change your weekly structure. You might start later in the day, or you might finish earlier. Try something outside the clinic. You might learn to pick locks. This is why when I do my workshops, I teach people to pick locks, because it's something they don't do. It's a little tricky, but at the same time, when you get it, it feels so good. And that motivation, I know when I learned to do it, it's fantastic. And I did it with a dental group, a couple of weeks ago. Same thing. These 30 dentists, and they were having so much fun picking locks. Anyway, the other plateau, or the third plateau, is the team plateau. Your team is stable, but they're not evolving. This is where you need to reinvest in training. So I talked before about the team training creativity days. This might be something your team needs. Create leadership pathways. Ask for their input on growth. What do they think they may need? The thing is, each type needs a different response. Whether you have a revenue plateau, motivation plateau, or it's a team plateau, they need different responses. But the first step is recognizing which one you are currently in. And here's what I want you to take away from this episode. A plateau is not the end. It's just a pause before the next climb. It's your chance to breathe, regroup, strengthen your base. So the next time growth stalls, don't panic, don't force it. Instead, just ask yourself, what's this plateau here to teach me? Because there's always a lesson in every plateau? What can I do differently without throwing everything away? And then how can I emerge from this period stronger, more focused, and more energized? If today's episode has hit home with you, I'd love to hear from you. Send me a message. You can send me an email, tyson@podiatrylegends.com or tf@tysonfranklin.com. And if this episode has helped you in some way, please share this with another podiatrist who you think might need it. And if you're stuck in a plateau and you want a strategy session to break through it, please reach out. Sometimes all it takes is a fresh set of eyes and a little bit of guidance to get you moving forward again. Just visit my website, tysonfranklin.com, click on the coaching section, and from there you can organise a 30-minute free Zoom call with me. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. A podiatrist I spoke to last year, they were in the process of trying to sell their clinic. After a 30-minute talk, I said to them, do this, and they end up getting $40,000 more. So just think about that. You've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. So that is the end of this solo episode. And there will be 3 more solo episodes this month. Next week's episode, remember, is going to be Reignite Your Why, Rediscovering Purpose in Podiatry before the new year. And what I'm going to be talking about is why your why drifts over time and how to find it again. Questions to ask yourself about your values, your mission, and your legacy. Realigning your clinic to reflect the kind of podiatrist you want to be. Using your why to filter decisions, filter marketing, and also team dynamics. As I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, the solo shows are going to be much shorter than when I have a guest on, as expected. Since you have the extra time, why don't you go over to the Podiatry Marketing Podcast? That is the podcast that I do with Jim McDonald in Canada, aka Big Jim Mac. And this week's episode, as it aligns up with this one, should be episode 207, the one thing every new podiatry business owner should do. Go over there and check that out. I think you're going to really enjoy it. And for the rest of this month, because each solo episode should be a little bit shorter, it'll give you time to go and check out the Podiatry Marketing Podcast. Okay, that's it for me this week. I want you to look after yourself, look after your family, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye for now.